almost 94 million miles from Earth, a powerful light show on the surface of the sun.
So 3i Atlas just got weirder. I didn't even think that was possible. There's been so many strange events happening with this so-called comet, interstellar object. There are some things that just happened recently that are absolutely mind-blowing. I have to tell you guys about this today. You could look this up. I'm going to show you guys right now because this is just absolutely wild stuff. All right, so check this out. Yes, there was a massive X5.1 class solar flare on November 11th, 2025. It was the strongest solar flare recorded so far in 2025.
The bursts of radiation are the strongest solar flares so far this year. Issues flaring up back on Earth.
Now check this out. This gets even crazier. Look, the flare, which erupted from a highly active sunspot region named AR4274, peaked at around 5 a.m. and caused significant effects on Earth. Significant effects. We're going to get into all this right now. Radio blackouts. The flare triggered global radio blackouts, particularly affecting high-frequency communications across Europe and Africa.
Shortwave radio blackouts have been reported on 5 different continents.
The flare was accompanied by a quiet, energetic, and fast-moving coronal mass ejection. So the sun basically shot out some plasma, and it's going to cause major, severe geomagnetic storms. November 12th, today, the day that you're watching this video.
The geomagnetic storms are caused by massive flares of plasma from the sun.
And I just want to be clear about what that is, so you're not going to see like some crazy sandstorm like this is the movie Mad Max or anything. It's basically going to affect the Earth's magnetic field, but stuff like this is kind of cool because it might make the northern lights visible to the northern half of the United States, so that's something that you could actually go outside and look for if you live in the northern half of the United States.
They can light up the sky in the form of aurora borealis in select corners of the world.
However, it's definitely affecting our atmosphere.
A G4 solar magnetic storm is set to take place as we go throughout the next few days, and Wednesday looks to be the peak, meaning the northern lights may be visible in many areas, especially up toward the northern half of the United States. That'll be visible to the naked eye. However, there's a chance if this thing goes according to plan, late Wednesday, even far south, upstate South Carolina, North Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, even into Oklahoma, parts of Texas, areas to the south could see this and make it visible with the help of your camera, your iPhone or your camera phone right there, making it visible. Now, what has to happen here is you have to have clear skies, one, and this solar flare has to go up. In fact, there are power grid warnings for 11 states in the United States that this could impact the power.
Pause. See how to just try to like smooth over that? You might be able to see the northern lights. It's super cool. Look up to the skies, take out your cell phones. Also, there might be like 11 power grids going out, by the way. What the That's a big deal. That's a big deal. You don't just like talk about like how beautiful the sky is and record it with your phones, and there might be 11 power grids going down tomorrow. Well, today, by the time I upload this video. So maybe the next 24 to 48 hours.
The flares can also disrupt cell phone service, GPS, and satellite communications. They can even wipe out power grids.
Yeah, if power grids were to go down, that wouldn't be a good thing, especially with the government shut down. Yeah. Very weird times.
Grid in some way, shape, or form. Right now, it looks like it would be a light red tint. You want to look toward the low horizon at about 9 p.m. to about 1 a.m., looking off toward the north, and there should be clear skies for a lot of us to see it. I'll promise to keep you posted. Please let us know if you do.
So that was the friendly news weather update, but then there's also people who study this kind of stuff giving messages like this.
An extremely strong solar flare has just exploded on the surface of the sun this morning, November 11th, and is pointed at Earth. So this is a lot of implications for the next coming hours. You can see it.
Just pause right there. It's pointed at Earth. I just want to make sure that you guys heard that part because that's kind of important.
Here's a public service announcement for the Solar Cycle 25 space weather event that will be impacting our planet right around the 12th. This X-class flare originated from the active region that's turning towards the western limb of the sun and produced a very fast, rapid, and dense coronal mass ejection that may catch up to the other geomagnetic storms that are on the way to Earth. By the time it reaches Earth on the 12th, it should push us up to a G4, possibly a G5 geomagnetic storm levels. My advice to you and everybody out there listening to this post is, if you see the aurora borealis in Florida and it's turning red, make sure you have plenty of food, water, and don't go outside. Well, I mean, you can go outside to take pictures of the aurora borealis, but this will be a substorm. And following the substorm, we may have grid fluctuations, and possibly some transformers blowing up. I'll keep you posted.
All right, so did you guys hear that? There's already been radio blackouts in Europe and Africa because of this. It may cause possible power outages. It may cause radio blackouts over here, which could interfere with airplane signals and all sorts of weird stuff. So just something to keep your eyes on, guys. I'm not telling you to be like fully panicked right now, but I also want to link this back to a lot of other strange events that have been happening. The largest solar flare of 2025 directed straight towards Earth, right? This flare is directing straight towards Earth, and it's set to disrupt our magnetic field. But you also have this interstellar object, the third ever track in our solar system that just passed behind the sun. November 11th at 11:11 a.m. on Earth, 11:11, and this is like days after 3i Atlas passed behind our sun.
It's a solar radiation storm today. Do you feel it? I'm meteorologist Todd Gross. The Earth has been hammered by that sunspot that has released solar flares the past 3 days in a row, and each day it's also released plasma from the sun, or in other words, a coronal mass ejection. Here's the actual look at the solar flare, and you could see on this graph how we have that spike in radiation that has occurred. Early this morning is when it happened, but it's now petering off. But for a while, we were about 20% higher in terms of the amount of radiation coming from the sun that we normally would get, which puts this at like a 20-year high. So it was really a very, very big solar flare that happened this morning. Now, it has released a coronal mass ejection, and there were already 2 others that were released in the last couple of days. If they all gang up into what's called a cannibal CME, then we will have additional problems on Wednesday night, Thursday. In fact, there's a chance that we'll get to see the aurora borealis. The whole lower 48 states practically may be able to see the aurora if everything hooks up right. If we get...
All right, hold on. Now, he's saying that the whole lower 48 states of the United States might be able to see this supposed aurora. It might be a very spectacular sight, but there are some concerns with that, okay? Keep watching this.
That cannibal CME. That would be late on Tuesday night or Wednesday night. I'll keep you posted on that. There is a severe geomagnetic storm warning now in effect, because in addition, that type of thing can bring down satellites, or it can make it very difficult for the satellites to stay in orbit. It could also cause sporadic electrical outages. I'll keep you posted as this unfolds.
All right, what does that even mean? It can bring down satellites. What does that look like? A satellite falling to Earth from outer space? So the largest interstellar object I believe that we have ever discovered or seen in our solar system is currently still here in our solar system. It seems like it might have affected the sun, because this is actually happening. How weird can 2025 get? How strange can it get from here? I think that something's going on, and I think that the planet is being affected by this. I'm not really too sure that this is just a comet, and I know that there's a lot of people pushing that, saying that it's just a rock, it's just a comet. I want to show you guys something. I found this video the other day. A guy literally put the confirmed video footage, like that little bitty leak that, yes, this is footage of 3i Atlas. A guy ran that through AI without telling AI what it was, and he said, "Is this a comet?" Check this out.
So I see that bright object you're focusing on in the night sky. It definitely looks like it's moving steadily across the frame. From what I can see, it kind of resembles a satellite or some kind of man-made object, just based on how smoothly it's moving. From what I'm seeing, it doesn't really have that typical comet look. Like, there's no tail or the usual kind of glow you'd expect from a comet. It looks more like a steady, bright dot just moving along. So yeah, I'd say it definitely doesn't come across like a comet. It seems more like something man-made, like a satellite or a drone.
How certain are you that it's man-made or a drone?
This part.
I'd say I'm pretty confident it's something man-made, just based on how it's moving. It's got that smooth, consistent trajectory you'd expect from a satellite or a drone, rather than anything natural. So yeah, I put it at a pretty high certainty that you're looking at something human-made up there.
Whoa. Did you hear what it just said? It's fairly certain that whatever object it's looking at is man-made, and that is the confirmed footage that we have. That very, very short snippet, that's the only footage that we have of 3i Atlas. Also, there's been a lot of new pictures being taken lately, and I want you guys to see this, because apparently It's emitting gas from multiple directions now.
Jet structure emanates from 3i Atlas after perihelion. Look at these lines here. Here, there. Astronomers are telling us that there are at least 7 jets of gas or plasma are now emanating from 3i Atlas. Some of them are pointing toward the sun. Some of them are pointing away.
All right, let me pause it right here when his hand's not actually in the way, but check this out. You could see what he's talking about. This right here, this little line right here, you can see the dark tint over here. There's one right behind the play button, and then there's one actually coming out of the front of it. Scientists are saying that this is some sort of gas possibly being ejected from this object. And there's little lines, you see these little white lines right here. These are actually drawn to show you which directions they're all coming from. So the front, the top, like a couple in the back. Very, very abnormal for a comet to do something like that.
This is not a comet, right? This is not a comet. And I think we just need to go ahead and admit that to ourselves. Why can I say it's not a comet? Because it does things that comets don't do.
That part. So now you can see in these new photos, it has this gas emitting from it in different directions. It just went behind our sun. Our sun is reacting super strange, had a massive solar flare directed straight towards us. There's going to be geomagnetic storms. The whole United States might be able to see like this aurora in the sky within the next few days. Satellites could be falling from the sky. There might be radio blackouts. We'll see, as everything in 2025 has just been a massive waiting game so far. You gotta love this year, right, guys? With all that being said, it might be time to put your tinfoil hats on and just wait, just watch. Look at the sky, check the news, watch updates on 3i Atlas, and let's see if the weather continues to get crazier. Let's see if the sun does anything else weird. And let's see if NASA starts releasing some damn footage already. Stick around tomorrow. I got a crazy compilation I'm putting out tomorrow. A bunch of weird sightings. I'm talking about wild stuff has been happening while the government's been shut down. And there are objects falling from the sky and people are catching some crazy stuff on camera. So make sure you tune in tomorrow. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.